This shit feel like game 7. Put lines up through my S's. Wake up in the morning, count my blessings. Feel like heaven.
Game 7.
This shit feel like game 7. If I lose, then I'm going home. Is you gonna win or is you gonna fold? Just had the sun, I gotta get these goals.
Welcome to the Money Down. We are back again with another live episode, man. Got Monday Night Football going on.
Yes,
gotta start in Buffalo. Buffalo first Jags. Hey, man. I hate to say, I know our producer, Perko, big Bills fan. Them boys look pretty solid, man. Josh Allen balling. Everybody kind of had no question marks. Stephon Diggs gone. What is it gonna look like for him? They don't have a number one receiver, this and that. But hey, he doing his thing, spreading the ball out to all his different receivers. James Cook doing his thing. He looks locked in. And early on in the season, he looked as locked in as any other quarterback throughout the league, being efficient, right. Not turning the football over. It's been an impressive performance from these guys. Even the defense. I had a ton of questions about their defense. Going through the year, losing all those pieces. But hey, they holding their own, they balling. I don't know what y'all see from Buffalo Monday Night Football.
I think Josh Allen, he really looking like MVP. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of time for him to take that next step and finally win it, man. He's put together a bunch of great seasons, and then kind of towards the end, either Lamar or Patrick Mahomes to kind of take that extra step and lead. So I think it's time for him to finally put it all together. It's super surprising, man, for him to lose such a key piece like Stephon Diggs, and it kind of seems like it has, nothing has fallen off or dropping off. I'm happy for him, man. A team that I know a lot of us wrote off. Shit, I honestly thought, Buffalo would be on the bottom half of the division. And that division kind of just working out in a mysterious way, man. You got Miami at the bottom. So I just hope that they continue to improve. And man, we kind of, I know for me, I kind of gauge and my whole criticism and how I feel about Buffalo in the playoffs. So they kind of a team like Dallas, right? They always play good in the regular season and just can't seem to get over the hump. So as far as like Super Bowl hopes and all that stuff like that, we'll see come January for them. I was gonna say, I know we only in week 3, but can you really say Dallas is playing good in the regular season right now?
He just saying in previous years.
I'm just saying. Oh, okay. I feel that. Yeah. Buffalo looking real good right now. I mean, like you said, Josh Allen playing with MVP caliber now. Josh Allen ain't won a Super Bowl. Not Super Bowl. Shoot, excuse me. MVP, right?
He ain't won a Super Bowl yet, neither.
He definitely ain't won a Super Bowl yet. But he ain't won an MVP yet, right?
Not yet.
I didn't think so. This could be a year for him, but obviously, there's a lot of things have to go right for him to be able to be in that spot at the end of the year, and it's a long season. We talk about it in our group chat, right? Sojourn made a good point of like, you really. Stuff don't really hit the fan until like week 5, week 6. So we really gonna see what happened once week 5, week 6 come. But truth be told, I really thought Jacksonville being 0-2, being desperate for a win was gonna figure something out. They still got good pieces on the offensive side of the ball, and again, like you talked about, Buffalo is answering the questions that we had on defense. But I figure Travis Etienne, Christian Kirk, the receiver,
Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis came from Buffalo. Yeah. Thinking he was gonna have like a little reunion, turn up game like a lot of people end up doing against their former team. Brian Thomas. Thinking that they were gonna do a lot better than they have on offense, and they just can't get it figured out. So yeah, but all I know is Ike, bro, I owe you like 10 push-ups, bro. So I'm gonna throw that up. I'm gonna throw that up on the Money Down story for you after this live. I
don't even know why you did that, man, because we knew Jacksonville wasn't gonna win this game.
I need to get back in shape anyways. It was just motivation.
we got to talk about Jacksonville though. I know coming into the year, I said I went on a limb, said them boys gonna win the division. That jump looking real dark. Early on the season, they should have won week 1 against Miami. Couldn't finish that one. Should have won a couple other games. These boys are struggling. I don't know why they can't score points on offense. I figured that would be the strength of their team. They got a ton of weapons at receiver, a couple good backs. Trevor Lawrence, he just got his check. I thought he was going to come out here, kind of show something. Not all on him, but I just thought with Doug Peterson, these guys, I thought they would have been rolling. They got to get it going. To be on Monday Night Football, getting beat down like this, that joint embarrassing, dog. Like you got a few extra days to prepare, you getting whooped. I don't know what's going on in Jacksonville. They got to tighten up, man. I really thought. I don't know why, but I thought them boys going to start fast. A lot of only week 3, man. There's a lot of football left to be played. There's going to be some teams that go on some skids and go on some runs, all throughout the year. So we'll see, how it goes. Because that division kind of ugly too. I got look. I think the Texans 2-1, the Colts 1-2. So it's a lot of stuff going on.
Over, right?
Tennessee over. So it's going to be 2 of them over. There's going to be 2 of them over in that division. And Tennessee should have won some games as well. So there's some teams really teetering on that edge. And that week 4 or 5, you got to turn that corner. That's you 0-4, 0-5. That's the season day and they're over.
And that's I was about to say, and that's just the thing. That's just something to tell you. Like, looks can be deceiving, bro. Especially in these off-season moves. Like, you think like a team like Tennessee, for example, got a really good defense. They added some really good weapons on the offensive side of the ball, bringing in Red and a couple of other guys, Tony Pollard, so on and so forth. And you thinking now offense is, giving Will Levis some weapons, and they've been sputtering. Yeah. So that's been looks can be deceiving with these offseason moves sometimes.
And I always, tell people, man, it only takes defenses and D coordinators 1 year to get a solid amount of film on you to kind of be able to figure out what your strengths and your weaknesses are. And I think that's what we're seeing what's going on in Tennessee, man. Like, Will, I think a good quarterback. I don't think anybody questions that. But in crunch time, that's going to be his little niche is he makes questionable decisions down the stretch when things get real tight. And I think he's going to have to get out of that funk that he's in, right now. I think it's all mental for him. The weapons are around him. The defense is around him, right? You need a strong defense, to be able to win in this league. And, their defense has played well and kept them in a lot of these games. A lot of these games they lost been, I don't remember what the score was this past weekend, but I know the first 2 weeks it came down really to the nitty gritty for them. So, man, my thing with Jacksonville is I'm a huge Doug P fan, man. And I just hope it don't get too bad, for them to kind of get out of the hole that they're getting into. Because like we said, you can get to week 4, week 5, and inside them locker rooms, that's kind of those 2 weeks is kind of like when everything you either know, like, all right, we're going to have a chance to contend or, man, it's going to be and people start checking out. And I'll tell y'all, boy, that's the worst feeling, bro. When you're on the team that's like, you ain't playing to go to the playoffs. You really just playing, you're just playing to play.
Yeah, and it ain't game. We in it if not.
And when that building hot, man, that junk ain't fun, bro.
Not at all.
So I hope he figure it out, man. Because I'm a huge fan of Doug P, and I don't want to see him get fired. But the way it's looking, man. Oof.
Yeah, I think he'll be all right either way. I hope so. I think it's just the defensive side of the ball for them boys. They got to get that figured out. We got to talk about the other Monday night football game. We got the Commanders versus the Bengals. The Bengals just scored here, so they down 28-20. We got to talk about the Commanders, Jaden Daniels. That boy looks smooth. He efficient.
Bro, balling.
That deep ball he threw to Terry McLaurin, that was perfect pass. It looked like he ready for the moment. I actually got to talk to one of their scouts today. They're at NIU earlier today, and we were talking about Jaden Daniels. He's like, he stays composed. He's confident. He's smart. And it just shows up for a rookie compared to some of these other guys early on. He looks the most comfortable. Not all of them. He looks kind of like how C.J. Stroud did throughout the year last year. So you got to give a ton of credit to him for a team too. You wouldn't. They got good pieces, but nobody really expected them to be overly competitive with the rookie quarterback. But he's doing his thing, man, and he's doing it on Monday Night Football. Man, even on the other side of things, the Bengals they 0 for 2. They
0 for 2.
They go. I don't know what's going on in Cincinnati, man. It's some bad air, some bad energy. How everybody's doing. Had the contract disputes. T. Higgins with Hendrickson. Obviously Jamar Chase and all these dudes. So they had a lot going on when it comes to that. I don't know if that's carried over into the season and a little bit of a slow start. But I picked them to win their division too. So I need them to pick it up and get it right because they got too much talent for them to be. But they're always a slow starting team. I don't know.
Yeah, historically, yeah. But I mean, also we're used to seeing a Bengals defense that like terrorizes people too, and I don't think the defense has been as good. I mean, obviously they haven't really had a super. They haven't had a bunch of high scoring games on them or anything like that. But the defense doesn't look like it's looked in the past either. They lost a couple key pieces, and I think that's hurting them too.
I think it's reverse. I think we used to seeing they offense just be able to just move up and down the field, right? Obviously, T. Higgins being hurt with the hamstring issue, Jamar Chase whole contract, dispute going on. Man, I just think they got to figure it out. Like, this is for the first time, and I know I said a couple weeks ago, right? Give Joe Burrow some time to just try to figure it out because they do normally start really slow. But it's just this. Even though they start slow, they were competitive in those games. And I'm not saying they haven't been competitive now, but it just don't seem the same. It don't feel the same. Like, I know for those players in there, they probably feel some of that pressure. Like, some of these games, right, we used to making those one or two plays that could really determine it, and it's just seeming like they're not making them, man. So, but, shout out to Washington, bro. You got to give them their credit. They in a tough division, right? Division where usually – all those teams are, competitive, and usually them and the Giants are the teams that are like, don't have a chance. But you saw the Giants get a tough dub this past week. And then also, just the way they playing, if nothing crazy happens, they'll come out of here with a dub. So, man, just, shout out to what their coach got going on, for first year in Washington. He's, kind of making those strides to turning around. Dan Quinn, great coach. A lot of people love him, and, hopefully they can continue to build off this.
I will say when it comes to Cincinnati, this is probably one of their biggest nights as far as, taking some deep shots down the field early on. Obviously, Jamar Chase had that deep pass. So that's what we're accustomed to seeing from a Bengals offense. It's not resulting in them winning at this current time. It's still, got a little quarter and a little bit over a quarter left, in this football game. So we can see some more of that. I think it's once that gets going, and once Zach Moss and Chase Brown, their backs get going, offensively, this is T. Higgins' first game back. I think when they're back in that little routine, I feel like their offense will continue to be more explosive because Joe Burrow having a decent day, 20 for 27, 208 yards, 2 touchdowns. So that's a good day at quarterback, especially this year. I mean, dude's struggling to go over 200 yards, 250. So that's a good day for a guy that still has over a quarter left to play. Do y'all have any reason for why quarterbacks struggling early on in the season? I don't know necessarily what it is.
I don't know. And this just goes back to hold on, but go ahead. What you think, Warren?
No, I just gonna say, bro, it's been good defensive play at the start of the season, man. Defenses have really shown up this year. Yeah, and I think that's partially why Mel Kiper think the way he thinking right now early on in the season because he saw them first couple weeks and he like, man, defenses are coming out to play. Like, you think about a lot of the games that's been played over the last couple of weeks. Like, there have been some defense that we haven't expected to play well that have played well. Now, some, play true to their nature, like the Pittsburgh, obviously, Houston's, the Chargers, right, playing physical defense, so on and so forth. But I mean, a lot of the games have been won on defense, in my opinion, right? Like you had now, like the Rams this week, we're gonna talk about them later. Like that's obviously that was offense, but there's some big defensive stops. But I really think the defenses have really stepped up to start the season, and we're used to seeing big time players, go out and have those 100-yard receiving games, 100-yard rushing games, things like that. Seeing offenses get going, but I really think defenses have started off hot to start the season.
I think I just want to, I just think it's all on the injuries that we've seen this year. Like these first 2 weeks, it's kind of been so crazy. It's been, you always have injury, teams that have injury bugs. And that usually come later on as the season, their wear and tear starts to, build on a lot of these players. But man, these first 3 weeks, it just seemed like big time people are getting injured for teams, and important players are getting injured for some of these teams. And I think that's why, even so more of the season just being as slow as it started, I think that's why like Josh Allen, if I'm Josh Allen, bro, in my head, I'm telling me like, bro, this is my opportunity, right? Like you got Lamar, I won't say struggling, but Lamar is not, not putting up the numbers, you know what I'm saying? Still trying to figure it out, what he got going on, like trying to get his numbers up to, speed, which at some point you kind of say like he is going to get them to where he needs. Patrick Mahomes is, undefeated, but the games haven't been as, I want to say, like dominant in the past game. So this is his opportunity, man. If you keep having games like how he's having tonight, he's going to be hosting an MVP trophy at the end. But the injuries, bro, I think it's the injuries. Defense has been playing well, though. I will say that, Warren. You're right.
I did see a tweet from Kurt Warner. I know I don't follow him, but he always pops up on my Twitter or X timeline. He watches the tape after every game. Like on Monday, he rolls through every game. He said, like, this is some of the worst QB play he said he almost turned the tape off. Like it's that bad. So, from a guy who's a great quarterback in this league, has seen a lot, watches the tape. I think that could be a reason too. Some quarterbacks are just over here. Tom talking about it. They don't develop these quarterbacks. They're dumbing it down for them. So I feel
it's a lot of young Qs too, though.
Yeah, it's a lot of young QBs. Guys that have been just thrown out on the field. They kind of learn on the fly. So I think that could be a big part of it too. Guys making mental errors, not seeing defenses properly, but which is a credit to the defense too, confusing these guys. Making plays, creating turnovers. That's what it's supposed to do. I think it's a little bit of give and take, but I will say some of the QB play has been down as far as being efficient and protecting the football, giving your team the best chance to win. So I do think Kurt has a point there. I mean, obviously, see some guys getting banged up, Tua guys stepping in for guys like that. Skylar Thompson and John not playing well, getting hurt. Bryce Young struggling, the young rookies. So that's probably a quarter of the young players not really doing well, and that has a huge effect on the amount of points that are being scored. So I don't know what exactly it is, but shout out to the defenses early on, wreaking havoc, especially on these young quarterbacks, make it tough on them. As far as you say, go ahead.
I said taking advantage.
Yeah, take advantage of.
Got to.
As far as the other week 1 games, I don't know who you guys have as winner after not week 1, after the week 3 football games. What winners y'all got out of that week? I know Warren. I know who's gonna be.
You already know. You already know. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about
it. Who's your winner, Warren? Go ahead, say it.
Bro, let's go with them Rams. Maybe that comeback victory was sweet. We ain't got Coop. We ain't got Puka. Kyron Williams had an amazing game. We see the Hall of Fame.
Man.
Bro, he's cold, bro. And you see the Hall of Fame dexterity and poise.
What'd you say? What word?
Hall of Fame
badges and stuff.
What? By Matt Stafford. Poise, the veteran leadership, leading us down the field, game-winning drives. You get what I mean? We got the total package. Young boys stepping up on defense, making big plays. Bro, Jared Verse had an amazing game, bro. Super disruptive, having a really good rookie year start to the season, bro. He's gonna be really good for us in the long term too.
Yeah.
That game was just so crazy to me. And like I think if you San Fran, you're like, I feel like it's some pressure in that building and you worried, man, especially just the 100%. money that you're dishing out to all these star players. This isn't a game that is, you shouldn't lose, man. It's kind of, I don't want to say unacceptable because, with a team like them, they have the experience to be able to overcome and get over these, humps that you face during this NFL season. But man, and lose to a team that don't have their star players, right? Like, the receiving core, outside of Puka and Coop, I mean, it's not saying that those guys aren't good, but I don't think as a secondary they scare you. And for them to make those plays that they made down the stretch, like, it was extremely impressive. And I hope LA I hope LA continues to grow off of this, because LA is one of those teams, right? Last year went on a crazy run. What I'm saying, to get into the playoffs. And they present a lot of problems. A dangerous team, right? With McVay and that play action and that all that motion and smoke and mirrors, it's hard to stop. So if they can figure it out, man, they'll be a dark horse, in the playoffs.
And also respect obviously we don't like the Niners at all. I hate the Niners, but got to give them they do. Like, Christian McCaffrey was out, George Kittle didn't play, and also Deebo Samuel was out. So I mean, they missing a 3. Jawan Jennings cut up. And guess what? All my pride for my team, I had that boy on my bench in the fantasy league.
I picked that boy up. I started him. I still lost.
I still won, but only by like 2 points.
Available in mine.
My team. 0-3
ASAP. That boy was
we big doo-doo on my fantasy team. But you brought it up, so it's something I want to talk about on here. We only in week 3, but 49ers 1-2. They at the bottom of their division right now. They've been in the bowl. They've been in the NFC Championship over the last several years. You think that window is starting to close on? And I know the guys ain't out there. All the guys not out there. I know once those like McCaffrey and all these other guys get back out there, look a little different. But do you think that window's closed? Do you think this is one of their last years to get it done, or they'll still keep it rolling? Think they'll be right back in the NFC Championship, possible Super Bowl to get it figured out, later on in the year?
I don't, as far as window closing, like I think that window closed. Honestly, I want to say that window, like completely. I think that window closed last year as far as winning the Super Bowl. Now coming out the NFC, I don't see that being. I'm not saying I don't see that being a problem, but they're gonna have some teams that they're gonna have to face, man. As far as the NFC, like I'm a real firm believer that New Orleans is gonna be tough to beat down the stretch late in the year. So the teams that play really good defense, I think are gonna present the 49ers a lot of problems, man. And the injury bug, like the injuries that those guys are having isn't just something that you just, like you just get over in a couple, you know what I'm saying? You just get over in a couple weeks. Like that whole calf and Achilles thing that Christian McCaffrey got going on is very scary, right? It's going to linger. And then it's more so here, right? Just knowing at any moment, right? If you make the, and I don't want to put that out there, but if you make the wrong cut or, anything, that thing can pop. So it's a matter of him getting back to, full, sport, whatever it is, 90%, whatever it may be, for him to be comfortable and feel like he can be that game different, that game changer that he has been. He's going to be the key piece. But as far as, that window, I think it's closed, man. And that New Orleans and Philly game this past weekend was very good. It's impressive. New Orleans, they found a way to be stingy on the defense side of the ball. And that's what you're going to have to be successful in the long run. You got to be able to figure out ways to take that ball away and give, your offense a couple extra possessions. Yeah,
I mean, I think the window's closed too, man. Not to say that they won't be a good football team. They'll be in the mix, every single year like they have. I just feel like they've missed their opportunities, man. And you're paying all these people all this money. I don't think you can continue to do that, every single season. Some guys are going to start to go different directions. Obviously, guys are starting to get banged up. I think that's telltale signs that things are starting to go awry there. Like I think this year may be like one of their final opportunities to, try and go out there and make it to a bowl and win it. But I think it's tough. I don't know how you feel about it, Warren.
I mean, you're talking about the toughest division in football. I mean,
it's not. I was gonna say that, Warren. Like about it, Seattle look good.
Seattle looks good. Arizona's not messing around either, bro.
Yeah. But they wanted to. Everybody wanted to. Besides Seattle, y'all said.
What division in football is good right now?
I know.
What division? I can't.
Division in football right now. Come on, bro. AFC
East, AFC East, NFC South. I mean, it's only early. It's too early to tell.
It's early. Yeah. I mean, you know me, I'm calling it though. But I think the window's closed. I think it's closed. I think you gotta. To me, like I said, the division is a tough division, and depending on how long those guys are out, how these next few weeks go without them, it's really gonna be a telltale. Because you can't lose six. You can win 6-7 games and get into the playoffs. You can't lose 6-7 games and get into the playoffs, but not with a tough division like this. Like you can't. I don't think so.
You know what I wanted to say, bro? And like, obviously, the season's early. And like I said, if I was a Niners fan, just knowing the ball, like just knowing ball how we know, I think that Minnesota game was telling and very scary because you've seen B-Flow show so many different looks, and it kind of just showed that inexperience that Brock Purdy has a little bit. Now, for the past 2 years, Kyle Shanahan has been able to, I want to say, cover up some of that stuff just with the superstars around them, right? You're talking about Debo, game changer, Christian McCaffrey, best player in the league, could be the best player in the NFL. And then their offensive line, just some of that stuff, right? You've been able, Brandon Ayuk, like you've been able to kind of, cover a little bit of that stuff up. But now you're starting to see, like, bro, they are human, right? Like, got some people with some crazy injuries. Now I can really see, right? Are you that player, that they talked about on ESPN, right? Game manager or game changer? Like, are you that game changer? Or if I throw you some of these crazy looks, you're going to go into that game, you're going to try to go into that game managing mode. And at this point, the way the way that the Vikings are looking, some of these teams are looking, you're going to have to be a game changer because Minnesota can score, bro. And it's going to be hard to stop them on the for their defense and on the offensive side ball for Minnesota. So I think that window's done though. But we'll see. It's early, like you said.
Yeah, Minnesota definitely my week 3 winner. Shout out to same. They wreaking havoc on people, man, on some good offenses too. They going toe to toe with everybody. Sam Darnold, I know he's not throwing for a ton of yards. He had 4 TDs, like 181 yards passing. Gotta give him credit, man. He's holding his own, playing confident. But yeah, B-Flow. My guy keeps this run up throughout the year. He'll get some head coach interviews. I know something.
You better.
I know something now. Hey, I don't care what happened in Miami and all that. The guy, he was in, with the Steelers coaching linebackers not last year, but the year before that. They got the defensive coordinator job with the Vikings last year. They took a step, and this year they took an even bigger step. They caused a lot of problems, man. You can tell those guys are rallying behind them.
My thing with that is you don't hear nobody in the world. I mean, you don't hear nobody in Minnesota complaining about him. Like even with the title change from the D coordinator to the head coach, right? Like I'm sure B-Flow is, I'm sure he is him. Like he is going to play and coach. How he has his coaching style and he's not going to change. And you don't hear anything coming out of New Orleans about him being, overly critical or too tough on players. So, definitely he should get some, some head coaching interviews. But, we talked about it. Like I kind of want him to stay. I kind of think being a head coach is overrated. Like because you don't get a chance to. I feel like coach guys up. You got to just try to manage everything. It's a lot of stuff going on in NFL teams that you got to kind of be the one to. Intervene and try to make sure everything is bright versus as a DC man, you see it. He coaching those guys up. He dialing it up, and it's showing
James,
good right now.
Hey, James said that money different though.
Ooh, that money different.
The money talk, man. That money talk, man.
Yeah, money on the stress though, bro.
That's a different tax bracket. The money talk.
Yeah. You only get so many opportunities at it too.
Yeah, true.
Talking about windows, your windows can close when it comes to that head coaching jump.
Minnesota dangerous though, man.
Yeah. They are. Question for you. On the other side of the AFC, a very similar team, the Steelers.
Yeah.
Think
so?
Very similar, bro. Justin Fields ain't throwing for a ton of yards either, and that defense is locking things down, bro. And they're 3-0. Like, is that? Do you think with the team that they have that's sustainable to have throughout the rest of the season? Like, do you think with Justin Fields at the helm? Because I know Bears fans and coaches right now are looking real salty.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't want to sound. Go ahead, you got it. You got it, James.
I don't think it's sustainable right now. I think it's going to work early on, but eventually, I mean, I think he's gotten better. Justin Fields gotten better and better every week as far as throwing the football. But I think the offense is going to have to take the next step at some point because they're not really making those shots down the field. It's just kind of dink, dunk, Justin scramble. We run the football, play great defense. I said, like we saw with my Patriots, man. It only works for so long until you face one of them, get a haymaker thrown at you. Then how you respond to it. So we're gonna see. Nah, that's dead for right now. Unless Justin go out there, and trick it off a little bit. That's an interesting topic too. How do they handle the rush situation? When he is back healthy, I don't think you throw him in there. You gotta let Justin rock. Seems like he's getting comfortable. He's getting confident. He's getting the ball out on time, not turning the rock over. And that's what you want to see from a guy, the previous 2 years been turning it over, taking sacks. I just think they gotta get that guy George Pickens more involved. He's one of those guys, the guy got a little ego. Yeah, he's special, got a little ego. You gotta get it to him, keep him locked in throughout the game because we know some of these receivers, they divas, man. You gotta feed them the rock. If not, things will go left, real quick.
Real quick.
You know what I mean?
Hey,
the Steelers have had issues.
Pittsburgh always Pittsburgh know how to draft receivers, but they always getting up. They own one, bro. I don't know what it is. The only thing, the difference I say between, I think both teams very similar, like you said, Warren. Offense kind of not throwing for a lot of yards, and defense is playing extremely well. I think the difference between Minnesota is going to present problems because they got 18 on the outside, and he's going to determine so much of what you're doing in the back, in the back end, whether you rolling coverages to him. You gotta get real creative when you're trying to stop, a type of receiver that Jay Jettas is, man. And then it was crazy to me. I think a reporter asked him about, how the 49ers were able to stop a receiver, and he was like, respectfully, but he ain't me. And boy, was he right, man. You can double team him. You can double team him. You can roll cover. You can do whatever and he different. So when they get Addison back, and you know what I'm saying, like they gonna present a lot of problems to people that they're not gonna have to throw all. They're not gonna have to throw for 300 yards, right? Like hit you for 1 or 2 big plays, and then let Aaron Jones back there cut up like how he been cutting up, and it's gonna be tough.
And y'all got your biggest losers from week 3 in the NFL? I think for me it gotta be Dallas, man. Miami too.
Miami, Dallas, and the 49ers. Bad football.
Yeah, I just think Dallas, man. That thing, they came out week 1 firing. We like, okay, like them. The boy look like they're doing something the last 2 weeks. I know they made a comeback towards the end, made it competitive against the Ravens, but it don't look pretty on the offensive side of the ball. They can't really run the football like that. The offense, throwing games kind of, helter skelter. Dak ain't really, doing his thing. Saw CD was a little frustrated. They're going back and forth. Zach Martin, Dak, and him. So you already know when you start seeing that, week 3 in the season, it's going, some smoke going on already. So I think it's definitely some trouble in Dallas. They're going to have to get that figured out. I don't know how they, decide to do that. Whether I don't know if Jerry ended up big into making trades in the middle of the year as far as trying to spark something. I think they need to find some spark somehow in that offense. The defense is okay. I don't think they really shutting stuff down. They all right. Like they didn't play well this past week. The run, the ball ran all over them like they did, like they did last year. They really a big, they get ahead and they like to rush the passer. That's the style of play they like to do with, Zimmer. He gonna dial it up. They play from ahead, double mug, sending the blitzes all over the place. So that's gotta be their formula. If they fall behind, the team's gonna run the ball on it. I don't know what's going on in Dallas, man.
Yeah. But it's so crazy. Like, what did we expect, right? They didn't make no moves this offseason. You saw
they really didn't.
You've seen every team down from teams in the Super Bowl down to the bottom teams in the league. Every team went out there and signed people or tried to make some type of move for them to be better this year. And the one team that we said the whole offseason that it was covering on ESPN every day saying, what is Dallas going to do? And I guess Jerry Jones felt like the stuff that he had inside that building was good enough, but it's not. Like, I know you say, thinking of a trade. I'm just trying to think. What is out there to go trade?
They picked up Zeke. They picked up Zeke in off season.
I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know. Sometimes you gotta.
But I'm like from the standpoint of like when you go down, so can't quarterback, he locked in, just paid him.
Yeah.
On the outside, I mean, obviously you paid him. I don't see what you know what I'm saying. Like I don't think you're missing talent on the outside. Offensive line, you're not missing talent in the offensive line room. And then in the backfield, I mean, yeah, like you got Zeke back. I know they sound Dalvin Cook, but it's like I don't think they're missing. I think it's chemistry. Like I don't think if you go out there and trade for somebody, you're gonna fix anything.
I don't know.
I seen Shannon Sharp. I kind of seen Shannon Sharp earlier on First Take. Like he got on CD ass. Like you saying that making fuss on the sideline and all this stuff like that. Like, bro, you caught the ball and somebody punched it out. Like that's a turnover. Like you had some drops and rightfully so. Right, we all football players. That stuff gonna happen, but you got to be able to sometimes take accountability of that stuff happening, man, and just go on to the next play. Like I can't attack my quarterback, but whatever they got, whatever him and Dak got going on, I think it's been brewing since last year. Like I remember last year in the Green Bay game, it just looked like they started. That game was so weird. They both started off like y'all not on the same page. Like y'all been doing this all season. Like what's the difference this week? And it's carrying over early these past 2 weeks. So I don't know. And they both just got paid. So what you gonna do? Like somebody
hey, we got a good game going on right now though. Cincy and the Commanders. Jamar Chase just took somebody up top. When the Cincinnati Bengals got the ball, but 5-point game. Yeah, 5-point game now. See what Jay. Okay, good strike for Jay and Daniel. So this one gonna come down to the wire. I'm glad the Bengals actually competing. Look like they can actually take the top off the defense once again. So, like I said, once that gets going for the Bengals, man, they'll get back to being a real dangerous football team. We're gonna switch it over to, some college football, and not some retired college football players or no longer college football player. Reggie Bush is suing the NCAA, USC, and Pac-12, seeking payment for his name, image, and likeness. I think this is huge right here, man, because, obviously we've talked about this a ton on this podcast as far as, once they started giving out the NIL and they had a little cutoff of, when they'll pay, some former players back, and that would have stopped in like 2016. So you knew it was going to be some uproar, for some guys who played in the past that, won the Heisman. That was some big time names. And for a guy like Reggie Bush to jump out front and saying he's suing all these dudes, it's gonna be a movement. I know
Reggie might get $1 billion. Obviously $1 billion is crazy, but honestly, bro, he one of them players. He might deserve that. I think all of us. I think
change the game.
As far as Warren, I ain't gonna lie, Warren James, y'all a little older than me.
What you trying to say, bro? Hey, chill.
Boys getting a little up there now. My generation, man, 5 was different, man. He had a little 619 on his, on his eyes with the eyelids. James, the cleats the white and black with the white laces. Reggie really a trendsetter, man. And then just how important he was to the game of college football, winning the Heisman, all that type of national championship runs. Reggie, one of them people, man, he might real deal break the bank with this lawsuit.
Yeah, but I think it's just gonna start. You go ahead, Warren. My fault.
I'm about to say no. I'm kind of offended, bro. Let's rewind that, bro. Chill. We was in high school when that happened, wasn't we?
Yeah, y'all old. I was in middle school when Reggie was flipping in the end zone.
Yeah, but that's still our generation, bro. You was too young.
You ain't that much younger than us. You three.
Right. I'm surprised you even remember what happened that game.
You 3 years.
James, you was a senior in high school when I was a freshman, in high school, bro.
When was you born? When was you born?
94. Y'all boys.
91, 92. You getting real disrespectful, bro. Y'all youngest different.
2 years, a lot of years.
That's crazy, bro. We was in high school when that all went down. That's crazy.
No, but I think it's about to start a movement. I think it's going to continue to be more and more people that come out and try and sue the NCAA, they college, everything else, trying to seek payment. I know we talked about it, so it's a little bit already. So I don't know whether these colleges and the NCAA going to try to get out front and try and handle it that way. But I feel like they're going to have to pay some people. I don't know how much or how they try and manage that, but I think some guys from the past deserve something. I don't know how they figure that out. But for a guy like Reggie, for a guy like Reggie Bush to come out front and rather it be somebody with a little bit of a smaller name, I think that's gonna help speed up the process for sure.
Yeah,
they ain't gonna want that negative attention.
Yeah, but you see, even Denard Robinson a couple not too long ago, if I'm not mistaken, came out. So you had somebody like him, and not as big as Reggie Bush, but definitely a premier player in college football, definitely a special and a game changer, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then you have Reggie Bush. So now who's somebody else is going, I'm sure somebody else saw the same tweet, the same news today, kind of like how we did, and go say somebody big like Johnny Manziel or something, and come out and go say, man,
Johnny for sure.
Johnny
Cam.
Cam. Them people gonna start popping out, and it's gonna be like, bro, NCAA, if you smart, just get in front of it. So many people gonna get that some of these people gonna get that appraisal of what they would have made, or what I'm saying, and that number gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be good though. I'll be interested to see how that all works out. Another topic that's been coming up over the last several weeks is Travis Hunter. Obviously, plays on both sides of the ball, offense, defense at Colorado. Everybody's been saying or questioning, whether he could be, the Shohei Ohtani of the NFL. Can he play both defense and offense in the league? I mean, me personally, he ain't gonna do every snap, but I think I think he can play both sides of the ball. I think he played both sides of the ball.
You talking about 18 weeks?
Bro, the dude played every snap. Dude played every snap. I know college and NFL
is different, bro.
I know it's different. It's different. But the dude, it's impressive what he's doing. The man played every snap.
For sure.
which is hard.
For sure.
It ain't gonna be every snap, but I think
it's gotta be situational.
You're gonna create packages for him on defense, create packages for him on offense, and he gonna be a playmaker. And it also depends how much success he having. He go out there, he BS and he tied, like that shit sharp. But if he going out there handling his business, I mean, maybe he's at higher risk of injury because there's not as many players out there. You can't really rotate them like that. It'll be a little bit of a drop off because college you got a 90-man roster to rotate through. You got 46 people
too.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's a comp too. Like if I think Travis was in the SEC, like nah, bro, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of covering, and I'm not, I don't call it, but instead of covering, I don't know, a sorry team. I ain't gonna say a sorry team, but a lesser than team's receiver. Right, that's like Ryan Williams over there that you're gonna be matched up with. Then you're trying to turn around, you know what I'm saying, on the offense side of the ball and trying to make those plays. It's a lot. It's too much energy, and I think the league is like that. We all know, bro. In the league, a lesser than, you know what I'm saying, weak. Let's say at receiver, what would you say? Maybe like a Cincinnati secondary, and they got good dudes in a secondary too. So I just think it's too much, man. I think he's just gonna have to have that conversation, sit down, which one he's better at. And then, like you said, it could be situational, but it's not. It ain't gonna be able to cut it, bro.
Yeah, nah, I agree with that. I think every down, it ain't gonna. Not on both sides of the ball. And like we said, with the league, it's different, bro. It's where you got people getting hurt almost every week. You know what I'm saying? It's an 18-week season, 17 weeks with a bye week, right? I mean, it's just. You got the best of the best every week, and people gonna be head hunting you for real. I mean, to be honest, to say like, a rookie can come in and play both sides of the ball like that, like, nah, it ain't happening, right? Yeah. I mean, people gonna be gunning for you. It's a lot. It's a lot to put on a rookie for one. And then when was the last? Who was the last rookie that played both sides of the ball successfully?
I mean, I don't know. Been probably a long time ago. But I said You'd be a fool. I'll try it though. If I'm a coach, I'm gonna try.
Oh yeah, you definitely got to make packages for him because he's an athlete. Yeah, you definitely got to make packages, but you can't do it every down.
No, not every play.
I'm
gonna definitely try that joint though for sure. We had some good games, this past weekend in college football too. We had Michigan defeat USC in old school Big Ten fashion. They ran the ball 100 times, out physical. The boy USC came back, but then the boys ended up holding on. Illinois defeated Nebraska. Shout out to Coach B. He was on the Money Down podcast a little bit, probably like a month or two ago before the season started. So shout out to him. They off to a great start. They'll be one of those underrated teams in the Big Ten. Big win, beating Nebraska. We had Tennessee defeat Oklahoma. Tennessee look legit now. They look legit. They got obviously their QB. I don't want to mispronounce his name. I don't want to say it wrong, but he's a baller, man. That boy could throw that rock. He accurate.
Maliava.
Yeah. I don't want
Wisconsin taking over.
Yeah, their defense looked solid. They was holding Oklahoma offense down. Create some turnovers, wreaking havoc on them. So it's some good football games. And then this week we got the game. We got Alabama, Georgia. That's gonna be early on in the season. So look, get your popcorn ready. Yeah, I like it, man. There ain't no ducking, no highway to the SEC championship. It's gonna be a fun one to watch. I don't know what y'all think about Georgia, Alabama. Who gonna win? What would that game look like?
That's gonna be. It's gonna be tough. I seen the head coach. Obviously, I mean, this is first year in Alabama, but I seen coming out of a bye week, he's 6-0. So, and I know that stuff really don't matter in the grand scheme of things, but like when you see like some of the little streaks and stuff, it kind of like play a factor into it. Like we played in games where it's like we have a tough time playing at a certain road stadium and we're a way better team, and it's like, bro, there's no way that's gonna happen to us. And for some reason, you get in that game and it's like, bro, what the hell going on, man?
What's going on?
So him being 6-0,
Jay Daniels dropped a dime. Terry McLaurin going crazy, taking the top off them boys.
The top dog too, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But 6-0, like we'll see, man. I'm gonna go with Bama though. Bama at home. We're gonna see. Georgia ain't been looking too hot.
Boy, that's gonna be hostile.
They actually look real. They actually look, human finally. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Georgia. I'm gonna go with Bama at the crib.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched Georgia too much, but based on what I saw from Alabama versus us, I feel like they ain't look too dominant. But college football, I feel like this year, you don't know what's gonna happen. Every single Saturday, you don't know what type of team showing up. It's at Alabama. I don't know. I might go Georgia in this one. They got to slow down Ryan Williams and Milroe. Obviously, if they don't do that, it's cookies. It's over with. I'm gonna roll with Georgia versus Alabama on the road.
Perko said first time Alabama is a home underdog since 06.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Georgia, but I think Carson Beck is gonna be the difference of the game, bro. He's got to play his best football of the season. I don't know if he's played his best football of the season yet, so it's got to be this one if they're gonna win. It's got to be on Carson Beck. Yeah,
and I guess we'd be remiss, our guys. We go out to USC, Wisconsin. We play USC. Had a bye week. I don't know how y'all feel about that matchup. USC looked pretty solid. They very well could have beat Michigan this past week. They playing physical. They can throw the football. They got weapons. We on our backup quarterback. I don't know how that's going to be situated, whether they let the young freshman compete during the bye week. What's your thoughts on this one?
I'll tell you one thing. I know what we better do.
Run the damn ball.
Run that rock. We better run that rock. If we don't, it's going to be curtains. If we don't have 30-plus carries, it's going to be curtains.
Yeah, we got to. I think that's got to be the MO. We better win the line of scrimmage. Possess the football. Don't let Miller Moss in that offense get too many possessions because they said they got guys over there that can one play.
What's that boy Zion Branch?
You know what I'm saying?
14-0 real fast.
It just happened to us 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? Turn the ball over, ball go up. Ooh, down 21, just like that. So I don't know. I think we end up. I hate to say, I think we lose this one on the road. USC, I think they're a pretty good football team. I've been impressed with them. I doubted them before the season started. Talking about them, but watching them, the boy look pretty good. And obviously they're gonna be trying to bounce back after last week because they could have won that football game. Probably should have won it. You know what I'm saying? Then shout out to Will Johnson. Cornerback from Michigan. That boy is random, but he a dog.
Nice.
That boy,
top three. Depending on where what team all that, who needs what. Top three.
He that boy.
He definitely gonna be the top cornerback coming into the draft next year though.
For sure. And the thing is, like, I wanted to say, a lot of people, I know they, it just seemed like nowadays you lose 1 or 2 games and everybody just SpongeBob going crazy and hitting the panic button. But Michigan is still Michigan. Like, let's not act like this is a team that don't go out there and recruit these stars. Like, that's one thing that's just glaring when you play Michigan. Their offensive line is massive. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna be able to move people, they're gonna be able to run the ball. And that's what they did this week. Like, when you play against a team like USC that's coming from a conference that is known for throwing a gazillion yards, and you got to finally stop somebody and stop them run. Now you got to show us, and that's what Michigan did. So I hope I hope as Wisconsin we did take notes and we did try to figure out and put more runs into it, man, because we still in that midst of finding our identity. And I think this will be the perfect time to go back to what we steamroll
that 8-man box, because we're gonna see an 8-man box every rep.
Yeah, bring some extra linemen in there, rotate them backs. Hey, get to it.
Bring large formation out of the from the crib.
DC 50 carries, man.
I wanted to say and ask y'all this, right? Like, how would y'all feel about seeing, a Georgia play potentially like Bama 3 times this year, right? Like, obviously they're gonna play right now. Ooh. Let's say they both go 12 and let's say Georgia goes undefeated and Bama's only loss is to GA. They'll play in the SEC championship. Let's say Bama wins. So now they both 12-1. They both gonna make the top 12 teams. And at that point, you could probably see that another national championship. That's that's
a possibility.
That's what they want. And it's in Atlanta. That's what they want, man.
They already talk about trying to get 4 or 5 teams in the SEC into the playoff and all that. So yeah,
but
you ain't
no, you got it, Jay.
Might say that'll get boring. It would get boring, but
it would get boring.
It's possible.
It definitely would get boring, but don't be surprised. Do not be surprised.
Everybody gonna be watching it anyway.
They trying to get as many SEC teams in that joint as possible. They already talking about it. I would hate to see that. I want to see some different matchups. But yeah, it can still end up shaking out though.
But you know what?
Really get 5 SEC teams in there.
They're gonna try it.
You could get 5 Big Ten.
I mean, you could depend on the records.
Yeah. You could get 5 Big Ten. If Oregon figure it out, Michigan gonna be in there if they keep playing. Okay. If they playing well, Ohio State gonna be in there. Penn State possibly. That's 3 right. The USC possibly if they win. If they continue to win, it's realistic.
Yeah.
But think about this, right? Tennessee, Bama, Georgia,
Ole Miss,
Mizzou, Tennessee, Bama, Texas, bro.
Texas. Yeah, they gonna put 5. They gonna put 5 of them in there.
Texas.
Nah, it's gonna start getting a little ugly though when the boys start playing each other.
When they start playing each other, yeah.
You know what's so crazy, and I don't want to sound like off the wall saying this, but like there's a possibility Georgia don't make the playoffs, bro.
Yeah,
I know I sound crazy, but you got Bama this week. You play Texas. I want to say in like 2 weeks or probably the week after that. Then like they schedule's about to get very tough. I don't know if you can pull it up, but if you pull it up, you're gonna be like, damn, I don't know, man.
I was gonna say Perk mentioned LSU and Oklahoma too, but I don't think they making the playoff.
I mean, you never.
LSU could probably be in
LSU maybe, but LSU still got Bama. Don't they play Georgia this year too? They turn around. They don't play. They might. Do they play
this year? I couldn't tell you like one team just gonna dominate the other this year. I feel like it's just real murky. It's muddy. Like any team can win on any given day. So it's a chance that any of these motherfuckers be in the SEC championship or in the playoff. And that's why I think this is one of the most exciting years of college football. You just turn that joint on. I don't know who's going to win. Just sit back and watch. It's going to be fun. Like, who was it last week that they ended up whooping James Madison, beat up on UNC?
Bro, James Madison looking good, boy.
They dropped 70 or 60?
Yes, boy, on North Carolina.
And James Madison been solid over the last several years, so it's not like they some type of slouch. But, yeah. That's
you ain't supposed to drop 70 on
North Carolina. You're not supposed to, but that's college football now, though.
Boy.
That's kind of the even playing field. I don't care who you match up against. The boys trying to win. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's fun. Should be a good weekend of football, and I think as the weeks go on, it's gonna get even more fun, more interesting with these power conferences, dog.
Here's my question, bro. Does a team like Notre Dame make the playoff?
They can. They offense starting to pick it up now and score points. So,
bro, that would be so.
I would take.
They play Louisville this week.
Oh, Louisville! I'll take a. Did Louisville lose this week? They won, right?
I believe they won.
They won. That was my upset of the week last week. They won. They beat Georgia Tech.
Right? Yeah.
They beat Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
They would take a 2-loss. They would take a 2-loss SEC team or Big Ten team if it came down to it over a 1-loss.
Oh, I would hope so.
Depends what team.
The crazy thing is, and if I'm Notre Dame, bro, I'm fighting the air with NIU losing this past weekend. Like you need NIU to play I'm talking about they need to go the rest of the year. They cannot lose. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point everybody's measuring that loss against them, and they're gonna compare it to how NIU finishes out. So your best bet is for, what I'm saying? I don't know, man. You figure to motivate NIU. Man,
they got that money though. I know today. They know they travel well. If they only got one loss, they putting them boys in there off the strength. Yeah. That's how that joint go, man. Them name brand, them big name schools. They on the cusp. Put them in.
I want to say this though, James. I want to say this though. Notre Dame has always been one of those teams, right? That gets in.
Yeah, they bullshit.
They ass blown out. So I don't want to see that,
bro. Notre Dame ain't been good since Buddy with the fake girlfriend.
For chill.
Oh, bro, come on.
I mean, even
No. They made the play. Did they make the playoffs?
Yeah, but Jalen Smith though. Yeah, with the linebackers. Yeah, they made the playoff. They made the playoff or something. They played somebody with the number 9 at linebacker.
Big bowl game.
He got hurt. He got hurt in the bowl game, but they was good.
He got hurt in the bowl game.
They was pretty decent that year. I know they had
hurt in the bowl game.
I don't know where they was at that year, but they've had some solid teams.
No, that might have. That wasn't a playoff game.
Yeah. They was all right. I'll give them that. They 13-1. Them boys getting in.
Overrated.
This bank on that. I
don't think they're gonna be 13. They got to play USC, right?
No, yeah, but I'm just saying if.
Play USC. They still got to play Michigan. But don't they play Michigan this year?
No, they didn't. Wait,
I don't know what we got.
They either play Michigan or Michigan State, and that's like a rivalry game every year.
Let me see their schedule. Yeah,
see, Notre Dame made it in 2020.
Stanford, Florida State.
Win.
Let's see. Oh, no, let's just see it for boy. Yeah, Stanford, Florida State, USC. That's gonna be and Louisville. They play Georgia Tech too. So yeah, they play USC the last game of the year. So
they did make it in 2020 though. They've been to the playoffs.
Yes, I said.
Who did they get whooped by?
Perk gonna have to let us know that one. I don't know that one.
Man, I feel like they get whooped by everybody.
Hey, but you look, name brand schools, they always gonna get that. They gonna get that bias. You know what I mean?
They're not good, man.
Yeah, man. But that's a wrap.
Nah, hey, my fault. I ain't mean it like that. That's crazy.
That's a very good documentary, though. If you haven't watched
it is a very good documentary. But hey, it's just so coincidental. Stuff all happened, and that boy was up for like 7 awards. We won like 7 awards.
Yeah, that's how the game go, man.
Just going out there. I'm just saying.
Hey, man. But that's a wrap, man. Oh, you go
fix that. I don't want to curse, man. I'm trying to, but fix that. Call that flag, but that was a flag, lad. That was a pass interference.
But talk about it. Hey, they cheating, bro.
The week before with Cincinnati, y'all bucked them, and then here it is this week. Y'all steal a dub from us. Like, come on, they don't have to make the Super Bowl every year, bro. They did it. They won 2 in a row.
I don't think we ever been to the moon. For sure ain't the only ones out there, dog.
Sometimes conspiracy corner.
The rest be bucket for the Chiefs. That's what you saying.
What I'm saying is, bro, I get it. Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, they on a run right now, and in the Super Bowl every year, whatever the case may be. But bro, they don't have you don't have to be glaring with it. And I know those guys aren't, but come on, bro. Some of this shit is outrageous. The PI against the Bengals. All right, we gave y'all that one. It was bull, but okay, cool. But yeah, last night, bro. Come on, man. Call it.
Get that man KP a full bear hug. Ball still in midair. Ain't even made it to
yet. Yeah, shout out to Perk with that edit, man.
Yeah.
So conspiracy corner.
We got all the conspiracies.
Yeah, man. They definitely be getting some favorable calls, but hey, that's behind. That's how it go. Unfortunately, them teams that be winning somehow, and boy, always find a way to get some good calls at the end of the game. You can't put it in the refs' hands though. You gonna win. You gotta try and win conventionally. Don't let it come down.
It was some missed
call for sure.
It was some lost opportunities out there by Kirk. Kirk ain't been Kirk yet. He ain't been Captain Kirk yet.
That's football, man.
For sure. They should that should have been a flag, 100%. But I ain't too upset because it helped me sustain my win. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. And the fantasy football league, and that's what comes first.
James, you out of this? We gonna X you out, bro. But Warren, this should look a lot like what New England, that treatment New England was getting a couple years ago.
They the new Patriots.
They get a lot of that New England treatment.
You can't leave it in the ref hands. If you want to win, though, don't beg on the ref to bail you out. You know what I'm saying?
Don't let it be another deflate gate here soon.
There you go, man. Ran like 200 some yards, man. Ain't a flat ball in here. Nothing to do with that shit. Oh man, but that's a wrap for this Money Down podcast. Appreciate y'all tuning in with us tonight. We'll be back again next Monday night. Covering Monday night games, the games from Sunday night, Thursday night, whatever it may be. Some college football. Make sure you guys keep liking, subscribing. We'll have some guests coming on soon. Maybe Melvin Gordon be back. Maybe LeGarrette Blount be back. Yeah. Need to get Ramondre Stevenson on here. I'm gonna get his butt on here, man. Get talking some Patriots. Appreciate you guys, man.
Sure.
Bengals about to go 0-3, dog.
Tough.
Life is rough.
Might gotta fire somebody, dog. Oh, that's a pass interference.